Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Emergency Management Associates. Coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. We want to welcome everybody who has joined us here on the Emergency Management Associates Network tonight. We have a lot to talk about. I'm not going to play the Star Spangled Banner here for you tonight. We've had a very busy day, and I want to get into exactly what we're talking about tonight. I want to get into it because there's a lot of information here for all of us, including me. I've done extensive research on what is going on with Hurricane Helene and what has been going on in our own neighborhoods. It's very concerning what has been happening, and I want to address that here tonight. I want there to be no mistake in everyone's mind about how we're going to approach this and what we're going to do. Okay? That's what I want to say tonight. I want to approach this very honestly, forthrightly, and talk about what is going on. Now, before I get going, I want to talk about another earthquake, a very, very strong earthquake that happened over in Niafu, Tonga today. I don't know why I can't talk. Gee whiz. I got tons of stuff on my mind, I guess. But anyway, today a 6.8 earthquake hit Niafu, Tonga, just east of the Tongan Islands. I want to show you where it hit, because this is very concerning what happened today. Let me pull it up here. I thought I had a different shot yes, here it is. This comes from Earthquake Tracker. As I said, it came out as a 6.8 earthquake, 116 miles east of Fungali, Oanga, Tonga, Niafu, Tonga. Notice where it's at. Notice where this earthquake is at. It's right along the earthquake fault. Okay? This is the Tongan Ridge, or the Tongan Trench, however you want to look at it. This ridge runs from here all the way down to New Zealand. All the way down to New Zealand. This being a 6.8 earthquake, it was a very shallow earthquake. I don't expect this to be anything different than what it is. A very strong shallow earthquake. Now, this may have been a lot stronger. I have not been able to go into and find out how strong this earthquake actually was as of yet. I may do that tonight or tomorrow. But needless to say, this is a very strong earthquake to hit here. We have had bigger earthquakes than this hit here in the past. Okay? But this hit here earlier today. Now, folks, are we going to have more? Possibly. Possibly. We've had CMEs that have been lifting off from the sun. Whenever that has happened, what happens? Can anybody tell me what happens when we have a CME lift off the sun? It sends plasma radiation out towards the earth. When the plasma radiation hits the earth, it penetrates the earth. It penetrates the earth. It heats up the tectonic plates. When that solar radiation, that hot solar radiation penetrates the plates, it heats them up, doesn't it? And all the garbage, all the biological material, all the sand, the gravel, the dirt, everything heats up and it turns to a oily, greasy substance. That substance allows those plates to more easily move around just like this. Those plates are typically held in place by friction. Friction. The solid contact of the plates. When that solid contact is dissolved with that oily, greasy substance heating up the plates there, and all that biological material turning into a greasy, oily substance, you get the plates heating up and they more freely move. That's what we had happen in Tonga this morning. Okay? I wanted to explain that because a lot of people had questions about it. That's what happened. There have been more earthquakes hitting around the globe, but this is the biggest. This is the biggest. I wanted to get this out in front before we go any further because it's important. It's important we understand it. Now, will this move around? Yes. This earthquake may move. The seismic energy may move. It could go east towards South America, Chile, and Argentina, or it could move west over into Fiji, Vanuatu, the Solomon Islands, or over into Papua New Guinea. It could do that. Or it could move south into New Zealand. New Zealand has had its share of earthquakes as of late. New Zealand has had 2 earthquakes that were 4.0 and 4.5 accordingly that happened in the Cook Strait, which is a body of water that is right between the North and South Island, the Cook Strait. That's where those moderate 4.0 and 4.5 earthquakes have occurred. Now, we are expecting a larger earthquake to happen along the coast of the North Island. We've talked about this before. The coast of the North Island is going to have a major earthquake. The East Coast. Why? Because it is a subduction zone. A subduction zone. Scientists have already said over at the East Coast of North Island, we're going to have a major earthquake, an 8.0 to a 9.0 earthquake along the east coast of New Zealand. They don't expect that to happen for 50 years from now. But it could happen as early as 25 years, according to what I've seen. That still remains to be seen. But we're still going to have these earthquakes hit. The last time we had a very strong earthquake like that, like we saw today, the seismic energy moved south into the Kermadec Islands. And we saw 7.4, 7.2, 6.8, 7.2, 7.4, 7.6 earthquakes hit in the Kermadec Islands. We need to be concerned about that because the last time was 5 years ago. And the earthquakes hit and hit and hit. They didn't stop. They didn't stop. They didn't stop for about 2 weeks. Then they finally throttled back and finally settled in. But this again could happen. I'm just throwing that out there because I believe everybody needs to know what's going on. Now, is it going to happen again? Possibly. Possibly. I just want to throw that out there so you can be aware of it. We need to know what is happening. We need to know what's happening, and it's going to happen again. Okay? We've seen it happen. It can happen again. Now, I want to throw some things out there for you tonight. There's a lot going on. A ton of things are going on. I just want to make sure you're aware of them and that we can help each other and that we can help the people in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia recover from the great big huge hurricane that happened here this past weekend. And that may happen again. That may very well happen again. We hope it doesn't. Now, with that earthquake that hit down in Tonga today, the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center said, they issued one statement only. They said there was no tsunami threat from this distant earthquake in Tonga. None. No preliminary magnitude of 6.8 happened and no other talk about it. That's all they said. There was a 6.8 earthquake. There's no tsunami coming as a result of that earthquake. Now, some areas may have experienced some moderate shaking over in Tonga. This earthquake was offshore of Tonga. But based on all available data, there was no tsunami threat to America's Samoa, no tsunami threat to Fiji, Vanuatu, Solomon Islands, or Papua New Guinea, or even New Zealand. Recommend actions? None. None. Now, what else is going on? What else is going on? The National Hurricane Center is issuing advisories on Hurricane Isaac. Let me pull up a slide on this so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay? Hurricane Isaac is up in the North Atlantic Ocean. Nobody even realizes what's going on up there. But this is far off in the North Atlantic. The National Hurricane Center is issuing advisories on Hurricane Isaac. It's located several hundred miles northwest of the Azores and on Tropical Storm Joyce, which is down there further in the mid-Atlantic. Now, what is going on? There is nothing going on with Hurricane Isaac. The only thing that you need to be aware of with the Hurricane Isaac is if you are a boat or a ship up there in the North Atlantic. The water is very icy right now. Icy is in cold. There are gale force winds, 60 to 80 miles an hour. Gale force winds.
West coast of northern Sumatra. Last light magnitude 4.3, 7 minutes ago.
Okay. Northern Sumatra had us 4.3 7 minutes ago. That's pretty typical of what we see there. Okay. Doggone it. Hold on a second. All right. Let's drop down to the eastern central tropical Atlantic. Let's talk about Hurricane Joyce. Recent satellite imagery indicates that the circulation associated with this area of low pressure several hundred miles west-southwest of Cabo Verde Islands is becoming better defined. Environmental conditions are favorable for a continued development of this system, and a tropical depression is likely to form over this week, early this week, okay? Possibly as soon as tonight. This low pressure system will continue to move westward and then northwestward along the eastern and central tropical Atlantic. Additional information on this system includes gale warnings. These can be found in the high seas forecast issued by the National Weather Service. Formation chances within the next 48 hours, high. 80% high. Formation chances through the next 7 days, high. A 90% chance of a bigger system happening within the next 7 days. Over in the Western Caribbean Sea and the Gulf of Mexico, you can see another tropical depression forming. A broad area of low pressure is located over the Western Caribbean Sea that is producing disorganized showers and thunderstorms. Environmental conditions appear to be conducive for a gradual development of a storm. A tropical depression could form around the middle part of this week, tomorrow or Thursday. While the disturbance meanders toward the west-northwest, the system is expected to move northwestward into the Gulf of Mexico, at least during the latter portion of this week, Friday into Saturday. An interest in the northwestern Caribbean and along the U.S. Gulf Coast should monitor this storm's progress. This again could turn into something larger, such as a hurricane. Formation chances during the next 48 hours, 2 days, low, near 0%. The formation chance through the next 7 days is medium, a 50% chance of a tropical depression forming. Okay? A tropical depression forming could turn into more or less a hurricane within the next week or so. We need to be keeping a very close eye on this storm's formation over in the southwestern Gulf of Mexico and the Caribbean. Now, what is going on in the eastern Atlantic? A low-latitude tropical wave was located near the coast of West Africa. And you can see that here listed as 3 here. Okay? Upper level winds are forecast to become more conducive for a gradual development of this system during the next several days. While it moves slowly westward or west-northwest over the eastern Atlantic Ocean. Formation chances remain 0 right now, 0%. But over the next 7 days, the percentage of chance this storm reaching larger proportions is 30%. So we're going to be watching this storm as well. Why? Because we want to make sure what has happened in North Carolina, South Carolina, and up into Virginia doesn't happen anytime soon. That's why. We're going to keep a very close eye on what is happening. Okay? Now, do we have any questions about anything I've said so far? I want to make sure we clear up any questions that you might have. Okay. Since we don't have any questions about that, we're going to move forward here. There's a lot of stuff going on. Okay? We've been talking about this for a while now. Okay? Now, while Hurricane Helene is over, Hurricane Helene may be over. There are shortages of water, food, shortage of gas, power and communications in western North Carolina. Conditions here remain dangerous. Access is limited to local and hurricane response traffic. Again, I want to repeat that. Access on the local highways and roadways leading up to western North Carolina are limited to hurricane response traffic. You cannot get to Tennessee using I-40 or I-26. They're not going to let you do that. The roadway has been damaged and is still damaged. But it's not Armageddon in western North Carolina. Someone put up a post on Facebook that this was Armageddon in western North Carolina. It is not. Okay? I don't want to get people overhyped about what's happening. This does not look like Armageddon. Things are improving. Okay? Canadian Patriot One says, are things improving in North Carolina, Ron? Yes, they are. Things are improving, but it is not Armageddon. Okay? Yes, fuel, gas, and diesel is limited to where you can find it. But prices still remain very reasonable. The water is contaminated. Sunday afternoon, we got a message from the Weather Service. We got a message from the local authorities here in North Carolina, especially here in Morganton, going up into the western North Carolina mountains. The water is contaminated. A boil water notice was issued on Sunday, and it will probably exist possibly into the end of this week. Okay? This boil water notice is going to last at least through tomorrow or Thursday. Now, anybody that lives in this area, North Carolina especially, you need to watch what's going on. Keep in close touch with me on this channel and local news, weather, sports, stations on TV and radio. Don't concentrate only on what is going on. Don't concentrate only on what's going on with HGTV or news channels. I shouldn't say news channels. HGTV and radio channels, music channels. Don't do it. Don't do it. There is so much going on that you need to know about. Keep your channels on radio and televisions tuned to weather and news stations. We have a lot of weather going on right now where we live. There's a lot of heavy-duty clouds here. We're going to get rain here this this evening. I thought it would happen by now, but it hasn't. But it is going to come down tonight. Now, hundreds of oaks, and I'm talking trees, oaks and pine trees, and mudslides are making their way to the ground or street level. Okay? They're falling. They're either on hillsides and making their way down the hillside and on the roadway, or they're right next to the roadway and they're falling down over the roadway. Okay? Needless to say, there's a lot going on. The ground here is still extremely wet. The ground here is still extremely wet. If we get any kind of rain at all, it might be light, but it's only going to increase the level of trees and power poles falling over. Carol and I went out into town just a short distance today, maybe only traveling a total of 3 miles, but we saw power poles still leaning down over towards the roadway. They have not been propped up into a more vertical position, meaning if the ground gives up any more to those power poles leaning, we may have electrical storms and power outages. Electrical storms, I'm talking about explosions. Electrical explosions and power outages. It is very likely. Now, if this happens, it's going to make ground travel almost impossible. There is a mandatory travel advisory out already. A mandatory travel advisory out already. And until further notice in local cities and towns, the floodwaters have receded, but the utility trucks are having a hard time getting past the broken tree trunks. Many rivers have hit record high flood levels. It's going to take some time, probably a very long time, in some cases, for these rivers, creeks, and streams, and even the lakes, and the levels to start to drop. It may take a while. Meantime, I want to caution all of you. If you live in this area, and I understand there's quite a few of us that are here that are looking at this program tonight, that do not always follow this channel. I'm glad to have you here. Please subscribe to this channel. And when you subscribe, also click on that little bell icon. Click on that little bell icon when you subscribe, and then a drop-down menu of 3 items will come up. Click on the word ALL. That should get you notified whenever we come on the air. We came on the air a little bit late because I kept getting notifications from many emergency managers in the local area that wanted me to talk about what we're doing tonight. That's why I'm on the air a bit late. I fielded about 20 calls within the last hour, just to give you an idea. But the floodwaters have slowly receded. Even the Catawba River on the south side of town of Morganton have receded, but it's left mud on the roadway. If we have any more rain, it may turn that roadway and the Catawba River Bridge into a mud-slick highway. Travel is going to be very dangerous. Be careful. Drive careful. Keep your speeds low. Keep your speeds low. Now, questions are being asked about the horrific videos of people trapped in the sleepers of their trucks and other places. Homes that are damaged by trees. We're going to talk about that tonight. Now, this may be true in some cases where people might be trapped in their semi-trailer tractors, but I don't know of anyone who has been trapped. Okay? But there have been people trapped inside the homes that they live in. Some people thought that they could escape the floodwaters and climb to the second story of their homes, and then large trees fell on the homes, and those people become trapped, and some of those people died. Now, with that said, help is coming. Yesterday in a news conference, I heard Biden was asked by the news media if the government is going to do anything else to help the people that are in harm's way. Biden answered, no, nothing more is planned than is already being done. That was his answer. Nothing more is planned than has already been done. That's not a significant answer. I'm sorry, it's just not. It's a very poor answer. It is a very poor answer. But people have been trapped in their homes, such as this one here. Okay? I told you about some friends on Sunday that we found out about, where a large tree fell on their house and they became trapped. I'm going to show you more pictures like this in a few minutes. FEMA Director Deanne Criswell is here in North Carolina. Today, North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper held a news conference earlier this morning from Charlotte, North Carolina, saying that he was returning to the North Carolina high country to the west to keep an eye on what is going on in western North Carolina and to help out where he could. Cooper said 1,100 people are in shelters in North Carolina. He said 57,000 people have applied for FEMA assistance. And the agency has already started distributing funds. Now, while the interstate is open, you can't travel on it. It's only partially opened. It's only partially open. Now, I have no clue why Mr. Cooper said you could travel from eastern North Carolina into Asheville, North Carolina, and beyond to the west. It's not possible. It's not possible. I-40 east out of Asheville, North Carolina, is now open. This is going to allow people to drive from Hickory, North Carolina, from Morganton, North Carolina, Marion, North Carolina, to get food and water and other supplies. But I-40 westbound is still closed. And it is going to be closed for probably another 2 or 3 days. Why? Because as I said before in previous broadcasts, the roadway has been inundated with water. Water's gone underneath the asphalt and has undermined the asphalt, and as a result, the asphalt has actually disappeared from that area. It no longer exists. Anybody traveling the highway will break if you do so without thinking or keeping a close eye on your driving skills. You may drive through a barricade and end up driving right into a gully and further down into a river as a result of that strong rain that we got during the hurricane on Friday into Saturday. You need to be very careful with it. I-40 east out of Asheville is open, but I-40 west is still closed into Tennessee. I don't believe it's even going to be open by this weekend as you're hoping. Okay? I want to make that perfectly clear. I-40 is open to the east but not to the west. Okay? I-40 and I-26 are closed. I-40 and I-26 are closed. You cannot go west out of North Carolina, at least for the next few days. Okay? In order for you to keep on top of what's going on, I would prefer that you come to this channel and find out what's going on right from me, the horse's mouth. No one is giving you all the information that we're giving you. Nobody. Not now, probably not ever. Interstate is open between Asheville over into the eastern North Carolina area. To the west, I-40 collapsed near the Tennessee line. It's going to remain closed for some time in that area. The westbound lanes collapsed in a washout into the Pigeon River. We cannot say this enough. Do not travel in or to western North Carolina. You may get as close as Asheville, but Asheville itself is a city either underwater or the water is receding and you're not going to find any gas or services available. You won't. You won't. So please don't go into Asheville, North Carolina. Travel in this area is for non-emergency purposes. Travel in this area for non-emergency purposes is hindering needed emergency response. Stay out of there. I-26, like I said, also remains closed at the state line. The North Carolina Department of Transportation has repeatedly asked drivers to consider using all roads in western North Carolina closed to all non-emergency travel. All non-emergency travel. Okay? FEMA is on site assisting residents with money and other things for people that are in dire need. Churches around the country have also responded with truckloads of material. Tarps and other materials to protect and rebuild homes were appropriate. Water, food, and other necessities of life. The Catholic Diocese have sent loads of food and water and other supplies. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has sent several truckloads of food to Lenore, North Carolina. Those will be distributed starting tomorrow. There are groups of people, volunteers that have been gathering already, ready to go to work tomorrow morning from Lenore, North Carolina. And they will be headed to Asheville and other places where people are in need. I'm glad, all of us, I believe, are very glad that these churches have come forward with the money and the know-how to make sure that they could help these people. Okay? Like I said, that aid will start tomorrow, Wednesday. There are large groups of volunteers helping from around North Carolina to provide help where needed. Now, what can you do to help Helene's devastation here in western North Carolina? What can you do? Folks, I'm going to show you some things that you can do. First off, as one of our own had done yesterday, reaching out to me to help try to find her brother. There's other people and other ways you can look for people. Call this number and tell them exactly where your family is located in Asheville, and they will give you a number to call. This is a National Guard's number in North Carolina. If you're from out of the area, you need to dial 1-252-299-2080. 252-299-2080. You can also call the toll-free number at 888-892-1162. 888-892-1162. If you're having trouble finding your relatives and people that you care about in Asheville and that surrounding area, you can call these numbers to the National Guard, and they will put you in touch with other numbers that will get you some help trying to find the people that you love. Okay? Now, there's something else here. How to get in touch with loved ones. If you are a North Carolina resident, in North Carolina, dial 211. The 211 number has rung about 4,000 times in the past 24 hours. For people looking for their loved ones here in North Carolina. Non-residents can call the toll-free number of 888-892-1162 to report missing persons or missing loved ones. 888-892-1162. Okay? This is going on, and it will continue. Those numbers will continue to be open to the public for probably weeks to come. I'm leaving this open to you so you'll know that. Okay? I may show you these numbers for the next few days. Renee Stephanie says she finally heard from hers in Erwin, Tennessee yesterday. They are okay. Renee, I'm happy about that. That's awesome. That's awesome. Thousands of people here in western North Carolina are in need of assistance from now tropical storm Helene. The storm has left swaths of destruction all this past weekend. The destruction still remains. That destruction still remains. But we are helping each other. It's neighbor helping neighbor here. Let's talk about this here. Television station WNCC. Okay? They spent a busy morning as they loaded up lots of equipment, supplies, and mules to leave for western North Carolina. Please know that we appreciate every kind word, gesture of support, and all that partnering with us to help all that we can. We'll be setting up a staging area and beginning to assist this afternoon, and they'll be bringing up additional loads of supplies on mules that are in place. This is neighbor helping neighbor, literally. Okay? They're talking mules here. They have that animal trailer there. Look at the loads of supplies that they're going to be trucking up to Asheville in that area. Loads and loads of supplies. And this is the only way they're going to get the supplies in. And I'll explain why in just a few minutes. This is literally the only way they're going to get the supplies in. Local efforts are in place to help those in need. What I found out is terrifying. The number of people that are still being found. The number of people that have been found dead as well. Now, if you want to donate, to the cause of helping these people, I'm going to show you how you can do that right now. Okay? There is an organization called All Hands and Hearts. You can go and Google that or DuckDuckGo it and find out about these organizations. All Hands and Hearts, AmeriCares, Operation Blessing, Save the Children. Even CNN has got into the works, Impact Your World, Operation Barbecue Relief, and Global Giving. Global Giving. These are organizations that have come forward to help. And this is not all, folks. There's more. One of the things I found out about this morning, I received a text message from one of you. Live Action, we're partnering with Every Life to send diapers to families impacted by Hurricane Helene. From now until October 4th, every gift of $50 will send a box of diapers to a baby in critical need. Will you step up now for these families? Give now. m.liveaction.org/EPSHK CWJNEY3. I'm going to repeat that. m.liveaction.org/EPS CWJNEY3. Every Life is working with churches rescue teams, and pregnancy resource centers in the area to ensure that families who desperately need these items receive them in time. You can make a direct impact now and help mothers and babies. Send a box of diapers to a family in need. Again, m.liveaction.org/EP, capital EPS, capital H, capital K, CWJN, capital E, capital Y, 3. You'll be able to help mothers and babies here with diapers that are in need. Now, how else can you help? Okay, let's talk about that. Asheville-based Blue Ridge Public Radio has a list of organizations pitching in to help those who need it most. American Red Cross. The American Red Cross is asking for donations and volunteers. The North Carolina Disaster Relief Fund. You donate to the North Carolina Disaster Relief Fund. You can volunteer in your local area. Volunteers are being asked for all over North Carolina to go up with groups to help the people in Asheville and the surrounding area. It's not just in Asheville. It's not just in Asheville. People all over the area farm the land. There are a bunch of people all over the North Carolina West Hills that need help. They've homesteaded the area. They may have a piece of property with a house that may or may not still be there. It may have slid down a slope, or it may have been basically stranded right there in the middle of nowhere. Again, the American Red Cross is asking for help, donations and volunteers. North Carolina Disaster Relief Fund. You can volunteer throughout your area. You can also go on the GoFundMe website. There's many GoFundMe websites asking for donations to help the people in Western North Carolina. There's a section dedicated to verifying Helene fundraising efforts. There's a section there dedicated to verified Helene fundraising efforts. Several Charlotte breweries are collecting essential supplies, especially water, to donate. Drop off any at the following locations: Great Wagon Road Distilling Company. Great Wagon Road Distilling Company. Capital N-O, capital D-A, at 610 Anderson Street. 610 Anderson Street. Divine Barrel Brewing at 3701 North Davidson Street, Suite 203. Town Brewing Company at 800 Grandin Road, Grandin Road. Triple C Resident Culture. Triple C Resident Culture. 2900 Griffith Street. Resident Culture at 2102 Central Avenue. The Whiskey Warehouse at 1221 The Plaza. Hot Fly Brewing Company at 1327 South Mint Street, MINT Street. 1327 South MINT Street. Or Great Wagon Road Distilling at Waxhaw, in Waxhaw. Okay, W-A-X-A-H-A-W. W-A-X-H-A-W. Also, something new that I found out about. Airbnb is also a nonprofit. Airbnb.org is offering free temporary housing to residents who may have been displaced from their homes. Airbnb.org is offering free temporary housing to residents who have been displaced from their homes. The Charlotte Humane Society is also offering an adoption discount as they take in rescues from Western North Carolina. From September 30th to October 8th, Operation North State is collecting new items at their collection location set up at the Bass Pro Shops located at Concord Mills, 8181 Concord Mills Boulevard, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Donate the following: bottled water, baby products, pet food, items, pet food and other items for your pets, lighting, blankets, clothing, shower and bath items, cleaning supplies, paper products, toiletries, medicine cabinet items, non-perishable foods, batteries, something loving for a child to hold, a stuffed animal, cash donations with checks made out to Operation North State, checks made out to Operation North State, 151 Windermere Court, 151 Windermere Court, Windermere Court, CT, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, 151 Windermere Court, Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Zip code is 27127. 27127. Also, the Charlotte Motor Speedway, the NASCAR Charlotte Motor Speedway, is hosting a hurricane relief drive from 9 a.m. through 9 p.m. on Wednesday. 9 a.m. through 9 p.m. on Wednesday, October 2nd. In addition, 23XI Racing is accepting donations from Tuesday through Friday this week. Drop off your donations from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. in the lobby at 12311, that is 12311 Airspeed Drive in Huntersville, North Carolina. Again, this is 23XI Racing. Drop off your donations from 7:30 a.m. this week only, in the lobby at 12311 Airspeed Drive, Huntersville, North Carolina. Now remember this: cash is king. Cash is king. We've talked to everyone. During the past 5.5 years we've been on the air, we've talked about cash is king for years. 5.5 years that we've been on the air. Why is cash king? Because cash spells valuables. Cash spells valuables. In places where the electricity is out, and I found this out myself here in Morganton, when the power is out, companies are not able to take credit cards or plastic. They can't process that. So if you have cash, anything you want can be bought. Cash is king. Many companies or groups are providing aid, but will only accept cash donations because the needs are not fully known, and does not require additional resources. Does not take additional resources to get the donations to those who are in need. Cash is king. Food and clothing drives may be helpful later in the process in very specific communities, but it can divert manpower to connect the right people with the right items. Cash is king. Look for matching donations. If you're looking to raise money for the people here in North Carolina, look for matching donations. Companies are people that will match whatever donation you're going to give, and that money will go to the people here that need it here in North Carolina. Nonprofits recognize that individuals may not be able to give as much as they would like due to the current economy and the number of current global crises. Experts are suggesting giving through places that will provide matching donations. For example, Walmart announced yesterday that its foundation will not only donate $6 million to support Hurricane Helene relief efforts, but it will also match all customer donations made to the American Red Cross at Walmart and Sam's Club stores, as well as Walmart.com until October 13th, up to $2.5 million. Okay? Up to $2.5 million in matching donations. Walmart. Consider waiting. Rebuilding efforts following Hurricane Helene will take months, if not years. But the full picture of need is not available yet. We don't know. All we're seeing is pictures showing the extreme need of houses collapsed with trees on top of them, or telephone poles that have fallen down covering the roadway, and live electrical wires on the roadway, and flooding over bridges. We've seen that. But the picture of need is not really available yet. The experts are telling us that the following disaster donations start out strong following the event, but then those donations slow down when it is no longer top of the mind. Even though that's when it is no longer top of the mind, even though the need may be still great and growing, especially when the government benefits expire. Especially when the government benefits expire. And I expect that to happen very soon. Okay? Renee Stebby says these scammers especially love to prey on the elderly. Do not get scammed. Whether you're young or old, do not get scammed. Do not let these scammers get away with your money. Don't let it happen. Okay? If someone comes up, Renee Stebby's saying it here in the chat, if someone comes up offering help, ask for identification. Business cards or company name. You can verify those at betterbusinessbureau.com or betterbusinessbureau.gov, I believe, is also there. Check before you donate. Check them out before you donate. Something else has also happened. This happened yesterday afternoon. On a more concerning note, there is a helicopter pilot from South Carolina that flew with his son up to the Asheville, North Carolina area. He used his son as navigator to find stranded residents in the high country of North Carolina, who had also sent him notes asking for assistance. This man flew into the area with his own helicopter and landed on a person's property. He met with a woman and her husband and ended up loading the man's wife and taking her to safety. He left his son with the husband, planning on going back and get the husband, taking him to safety, and then going back and getting his son. Then, before he was able to fly back and rescue the husband and his son, who he left stranded with the husband on the property because of weight concerns in the helicopter. The helicopter pilot flew to safety, but there was a fire chief at that location. Now, I'm not going to reveal the fire department or the fire chief's name. But the fire chief, where he had brought the woman to safety, told him that if he flew back to assist the man, the fire chief would have him arrested for interfering with the work of the fire department. The pilot told the fire chief he had left his son to navigate for him when he was flying back and forth, but he left his son with the man. And the fire chief told him, you go back there, for any reason, I will still have you arrested. So the pilot took off and made an unusual flight path. He went back and got his son and told the husband that he was sorry he could not pick him up because he was threatened with arrest if he did. talk about a bunch of nonsense. As we spoke last night, we've had a lot of people that have come forward to help the people in Asheville, North Carolina. Ryan Hall, y'all, brought SATCOMs, satellite communications, to the high country, specifically Asheville and the surrounding communities, to provide law enforcement, fire, and paramedics with communications. Starlink satellite comms. Starlink satellite comms. They were sorely lacking when Helene hit the area on Friday. The police, fire, and paramedic radio comms went down because the winds of Helene knocked out the repeaters. And those repeaters won't be on anytime soon. So Ryan Hall, y'all, and these other storm chasers that we've talked about quite frequently drove up the satellite communications with Starlink. Ryan Hall, y'all, bought some. Elon Musk donated others. The Catawba County Sheriff that is over Hickory, which is just north of me, has also been helping to provide necessary 911 communications overlap for Buncombe County and Brevard County Sheriff, since those counties border each other. That way, no calls are missed. The police are still receiving and responding to all 911 calls in the western North Carolina area. They're doing that. They're doing that. And they're going to continue to do that. Now, we talked about how you can help. We talked about diapers. There's a couple other things I want to talk about here. I had another slide I want to show you here. Just give me a second. Let's see, where'd it go? This is one of the slides I want to show you. Alert. Asheville, North Carolina is a total blackout zone. So we've set up 2 Starlink satellite stations for public use. Even North Carolina State Police aren't able to connect to cellular networks, so they're using our Starlink satellite systems now. Spot number 1. The Doubletree Hilton Downtown Hotel. The Doubletree Hilton Downtown Hotel, located at 199 Haywood. 199 Haywood. The SSID is SORTOR, S-O-R, capital S-O-R-T-O-R, Starlink. The password is lowercase NCSTRONG. NCSTRONG, all lowercase. Spot 2, the Asheville Shelter. The Asheville Shelter is located in Ferguson Building, 340 Victoria Road. The SSID is Hall Starlink. Capital H, capital A, capital L, Starlink, all capital letters. The password is also NCSTRONG, all lowercase. Please, folks, spread this for anyone in that affected area. It's been days for some people that have not even been able to connect their cellular out there. This comes from Chris Hall Weather. And he says he's had these up and running for an hour. He's lost count of the amount of people that have told us that they finally have been able to connect with friends and family and let them know that they're okay. Thank you, Chris Hall. Thank you, Elon Musk. It's very much appreciated. Very, very much appreciated. One more thing about Walmart. Okay? I want to show you this as well. Walmart, Sam's Club. Walmart Sam's Club in Asheville is allowing non-members to shop today. They have fully stocked stores and have trucks coming in and out all day long. Sam's Club in Asheville is allowing non-members to shop today. They have a fully stocked store and have trucks coming in and out all day long. You can go there for supplies. Okay? Now let me check my resources here and make sure I haven't forgotten anything. I think I've gotten it. I have talked about the quake in Tonga. Also, there was a 4.0 over in Los Angeles today. A 4.0 moderate earthquake in Los Angeles. The agency immediately downgraded to a 3.9. The 0.9 society is alive and well. The 0.9 society is alive and well. Now, I want to go back here to the Taggarts, my friends who had a tree fall on their home. I want you to see what happened. I want you to see what happened. Hold on a second. This is part of the Taggart's home where a tree fell in, damaging it, severely damaging their home. Now, I want to tell you the story that the wife gave all of us. It was very, what shall I say, very disturbing, to say the least. Mom Taggart said this: "We have had a lot of people reaching out to ask if we did okay during the hurricane. We wanted to post an update since we haven't gotten back to almost anyone. Our phones have said SOS most of the last few days. We've had a lot of trauma to process and a lot of beautiful human moments. Most of all, we are so grateful to our entire family, and they're alive. They're alive. Early Friday morning, a giant oak tree came down on our house, smashing Annie's bedroom, specifically her bed, which cannot even be seen anymore. The tree came through the ceiling of Wells' bedroom as well, puncturing the staircase, puncturing the staircase. And the china cabinet. Wells had woken up minutes before the tree fell. Annie went into Eleanor's room and said, "I'm scared because the sticks are hitting my window." So Eleanor told her they should just go downstairs. Jack was asleep in the basement. Minutes later, Mike heard a loud cracking noise. Looked out the window to see the tree falling, and then it was smashing through the house. The fire department got everyone out. A city truck parked outside our house and was then crushed by another tree coming down into that truck, and the worker got out of it and was uninjured. He was thankfully okay. 10 trees came down in total. Our basement flooded. We have been feverishly working to get anything we can out of the house. The deep outpouring of love and help we've gotten from our church family and others has been unlike anything we've ever experienced. The love of the people who cared for us these last few days, I'll never forget. And this is why we've landed again on our feet at the end of all this. People completely unafraid of my crumbling house, just helping us get anything we can. We were without power and water for days, but people fed us, clothed us, loved on my traumatized babies, climbed extremely dangerous staircases to get our stuff out of the house, and helped me process what to do next when I had almost no sleep and couldn't even keep almost any food down. The house has been eerie dark feeling to go in. We are struggling to spend much time inside the house. The house has an eerie dark feeling to it, and we are all struggling to spend much time inside. We have angels who stepped in, and by Sunday afternoon, I had a roof to put my babies to sleep under again. Miracles are real. We are very grateful. Miracles are real. And we are very grateful. Now, our dear friend Don, who's here in the chat, he knows his family's relatives because his relatives he goes to church with in Santa, Utah. Unreal. To see that roof completely gone through by that huge oak tree. Renee Sevy says, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine what that must have been like. What this family went through. Richard Smith says, Ron, I see rain and fog coming your way from Burnsville. That's Spruce Pine. Yes, that's happening. It's happening. That rain is coming here. Now again, we may see more trees fall. We may see more power lines go down. And if that happens, we'll also see another power outage. We've had 2 power outages, very short power outages, not lasting more than probably, I want to say, 2 minutes during the past 48 hours. So power's been out twice. Folks, I don't do this often. I don't do this often enough, in fact. I want to thank some people who donated to help Carol and I get through what is going to happen to us during the next few days. I want to give some thanks here. Our friend Jerry, aka Pascup, P-A-S-G-U-F, McGuff, Pascup McGuff. He sent us a check through the mail. He sent us a card here. He sent us a real nice card here in the mail. Folks, we appreciate that. We also got 2 donations. One from Don and Gregory, who I call my cousins, because I do have a cousin named Donna. And then one of our own here, Juby Joe, who sent us a PayPal donation. We greatly appreciate those donations to help Carol and I get through what's going to happen in the next few days. God bless you for that. We appreciate that. When Juby Joe said she was going to send a donation, I honestly didn't expect what she did, and I appreciate it. It's going to help us keep our rent, keep our house over our head, keep a roof over our head, and we appreciate all of you very much. We contacted our credit union. I told you guys some time ago that Carol and I had a credit union. I've had a credit union here for 3 years, and prior to that, I had a credit union for quite some time back in Salt Lake, Denver, and also in San Diego. Credit unions are where you should keep your money, honestly. Stay out of the banks. Go to a credit union. My credit union was located in Asheville, North Carolina, at the headquarters. When Asheville was literally destroyed Friday night going into Saturday, Asheville flooded by Lake Luria and the dam going down. My credit union suffered. And they were basically bottoms up for the past 4 days. Today was the first time since Friday that my credit union was open here in Morganton, the branch. We are going to have our money deposited in the credit union within the next 24 hours. Thank you, Juby Joe. Thank you, Don and Greg. Thank you to McGuff for your donations that help keep us open here. We appreciate it so much. Again, if you want to send us a donation, just below this video here, you're going to find a program description. At the top of the program description, you'll see our email address. Right below that, you're also going to see where you can send us cards and letters and even donations to our post office box. And right below this program, at the bottom of this program, you're seeing a scrolling line here with our email address and our post office box. The post office box is 104 North Green Street, box 105, Morganton, North Carolina. The zip code is 28655. As Juby Joe did, you can also send us donations to our PayPal. We have 2 PayPal addresses there as well as Venmo. We would be happy to see a letter or card from you at our post office in the very near future. Up until McGuff sent us this card that we got today, we had not had a card or a letter at all, with or without a donation. And that's okay. If you don't have the money, please don't send a donation. I'm not asking you to hurt. But we need to keep the lights on here. We need to keep the bandwidth here to do the program. And we appreciate all of you helping us do that. We appreciate that so much. You guys have frequently given us these wonderful super chats here on the program, which we greatly appreciate. We do. Folks, I love you. My sweet wife, Carol, loves you. Some of you have seen her in the chat. She does monitor this program all the time. You might not see her in the chat, but she's here with us. And so is our son. So if you see Carol, or you see my son Paul, our son Paul, please say hi. I love my family being around me, and I love their support, as I love all of you. Juby Jo says she's been so poor most of her life, and she's fought like hell to stay alive. Juby Joe, thanks for everything. Thanks for your conversation last night. I really appreciate it. I had fun with you last night. It was good getting to know you. Now, I want to thank Juby Joe. I want to thank Pascup McGuff. I want to thank Don and Greg. And I want to thank all of you for keeping us here. We love you. We love you. We appreciate your support. I also love the people that I'm surrounded with here in North Carolina. Regardless of whether they are close to me or not, I love and appreciate each and every one of them. Every time I go out from my home, whether it's to the store or a post office or somewhere else, I meet people. And they're some of the most friendly, honest to goodness people that I've ever met. I met a lot of people throughout my life. Most people won't even say hello to you. Here in North Carolina, it's different. I care about them. I really do. And I've learned to care about everybody I associate with. We have the EMA family here that's very close. We were up to 25,000 subscribers until a year and a half ago, when YouTube shut down our first channel. Days later, I started this channel. We've been up ever since. I appreciate a lot of you that have come over from the other channel. There are still others that have not come back. I was hoping they would, and maybe they still will. I love all of you. I care for you. That's why we're doing what we do, giving you emergency information that you need to know that save your lives. This could happen to you. What happened in Florida, what happened in Georgia, South and North Carolina, even up into Virginia, could happen to you. I pray it doesn't. We have another hurricane over in the central mid-Atlantic. I hope it doesn't do it again. We'll keep you up to date with what happens with Hurricane Joyce. It's only a tropical storm out there right now. Not even that, it's a tropical depression out there. It's not even a storm yet. But folks, it's stirring up waves out there in the Atlantic. It can happen. Now, other people have also helped the people here in North Carolina. President Trump traveled back to North Carolina. He helped organize assistance for those who needed it. He also brought in aid and goods and services to the people in need, as well as equipment to help those that experienced hardship as a result of Hurricane Helene. Biden has since said he will also be traveling to North Carolina today to assess and see what is going on. Kamala, on the other hand, is on the other side of the country fundraising for her campaign. Tonight, she's on the air with the vice president's debate. Or not, I'm sorry, she isn't, but her vice presidential nominee, Waltz, is on the air right now with President Trump's nominee, J.D. Vance. Let's go watch them. I can't wait to see what happens tonight. May God bless you. May God be with you today and always. We love you. If there's anything else that we can do for you, please let us know. Send us an email, send us a card, send us a letter, let us know how you're doing, and tell us what you're doing with your preparations. We've been talking preparedness for a very long time. And I forgot to mention one other thing. Today, Iran attacked Israel. Iran attacked Israel. Hundreds of missiles rained down in Israel. It's a sad day. God bless our friends in Israel. The door is not going to close in Israel. Iran is going to see punishment coming in the days to come. God bless you all. I love you very much. Have a great one. Folks, if anything else happens tonight, we're going to come back on the air and tell you about it as soon as the information becomes available. We always do that. Otherwise, we'll see you sometime after 6 p.m. tomorrow evening. I thank you for being here. God be with you until we meet again. We'll see you on the other side. Have a good night, everybody. Much love.